Good evening. When it comes to the reaction, the first reaction that we are getting is from the leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, who is holding a mini press conference with the rest of the media here. Let's listen in to what he has to say when it comes to his reaction to this particular opening of Parliament address.
Like he did in 1994, when he did not attend Nelson Mandela's inauguration, which today he speaks very highly of him for opportunistic reasons. So we as the EFF are going to consolidate the progressive forces in this parliament and make sure that we hold this government accountable. We give this government just a year, and if it doesn't collapse within a year, it will not go beyond 2 years. We can guarantee South Africans a progressive government is coming in, which will transform the land, nationalize the banks, and ensure that there is enough jobs for all our people and fight poverty.
One of the key issues of the EFF manifesto when it comes to the beneficiation of the minerals of the country was touched upon. What is your view on the beneficiation of the minerals as exposed to exporting road dust and our minerals unbeneficiated?
He has spoken about beneficiation since 2017, when the ANC agreed to nationalize the Reserve Bank and ensured that the people of South Africa benefit from the minerals of our country. It's not for the first time he speaks about beneficiation. He is not going to be a part of people who are going to initiate beneficiation in South Africa, because exporting is to the benefit of his masters, and therefore he will never support beneficiation in the country. He's just speaking about it because he has been president for the past 5 years. He has been deputy president for the past 10 years. Why hasn't he beneficiated in South Africa? Today, he's telling us about a solar plant that has given us 250 megawatts. But just recently, we have just received 800 megawatts from Eskom. And why is he not speaking about what our own state company is able to give us, but instead wants to promote the independent power producers at the expense of Eskom? So you can see that the man that is not for the state. The man is for the private sector. The man is for multinational companies. But what makes me happy is that you can see that is a wounded buffalo. We told you South Africa will eat this elephant piece by piece, and you saw it for yourself today. That confidence and that arrogance of February has gone through the window. And today, the man speaks like a man who has got no confidence and belief in what he's talking about. I won't be shocked tomorrow if I'm told that that speech was written by Helen Zille, because the DA kept on clapping until the last full stop.
On the issue of the formation of the state-owned holdings company, basically replacing Department of Public Enterprises, I know that your Treasurer General, Ompilo Moate, also the MP, has spoken extensively about public enterprises, just on the state holdings company.
Well, they have collapsed the state-owned enterprises, and therefore they can't be telling us they are going to establish this or that after they've collapsed the state-owned enterprises. They create a problem and then come to us and say we'll solve the problem after creating the problem. We must first strengthen our own state-owned enterprises. If we want to grow the economy, if we want to create jobs, there is no economic development and any developmental state that is led by a private sector. It must be a state-led economic development.
He said you'll defend the ANC in Gauteng. I know him and Mashaba has been negotiating with Panyaza Lesufi, Tata Morero and TK Ngiza. Will you also be forming part in that particular arrangement on the reconstitution of the metros in Gauteng?
They can go ahead. We don't have any kind of arrangement with the Action SA or anyone of that sort. We don't have an arrangement with the ANC. We're saying to you, if the ANC comes and the DA wants to oppose them, we'll defend the ANC in Gauteng because of the stance they took. That was a brave stand. That was an act of defiance to this nonsensical neoliberal coalition led by the DA. This is not led by the ANC. Helen Zille is the crafter of everything that is happening here. So Gauteng said we are not going to be Makabane ka Helen Zille, and therefore refuse that and will support them because that is a brave move. The ANC should have opted for minority government if it did not want to work with progressive forces. Instead, they decided to go in bed with reactionary forces who still have blood of our people on their hands.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Mr. Malema, will you be part of the national dialogue? Will you take part in the national dialogue that has been called by the president?
No, we won't take part in the national dialogue. How do you go to a strategic planning and say you have prioritized the issues that you want to deal with, and those are the things that you are going to be budgeting along those priorities? After doing that, you say, let's go to a national dialogue. After saying these are our priorities, what are we going to talk about in the national dialogue when they have already prioritized? What should have come before any other thing should have been a national dialogue. That was going to be a genuine national dialogue, not just a talk shop.